Imagine this. You sit down to enjoy some good old YouTube, and after a long day at work, you're scrolling and you see, bam, how to monetize your hobby, a step-by-step tutorial, and turn what you love into money. And on multiple occasions, I found myself clicking on these videos and daydreaming about becoming the next big artist or author, making passive income off my work and never having to worry about money again. Because you know the saying, when you love what you do, you never have to work a day in your life. Hey everyone, I'm Bean, and today I will be talking about monetizing your hobby. The good, the bad, and the ugly. So if you're not listening to this while cleaning your room or in the background of some other task, I encourage you to please grab a blanket, some tea like I have here, a snack maybe, get comfortable, and join me as I chat about money and passion. So today I will be working on this crochet project. In the meantime, I'm currently pattern testing for someone on Instagram, and she does incredible color work patterns and designs, and I love all her motifs. She does a lot of like dinosaur motifs, a lot of cowls, like dragons and cool other things. So this is my first time pattern testing for her, so I'm very excited. But the due date for this, when I have to have it done by, is the end of the month. So I have less than a week to complete it, and I'm only about 1/3 of the way through. So I thought I would work on this while I chatted about my thoughts on making money through your passions and hobbies. So first things off, we're going to start with the good. The main thing you think of, or I think most people think of when they think about making money off of their passions, is that you are getting to do what you truly love to do. Say you love ceramics, you love doing either hand building or throwing on the wheel, and you've gotten pretty good at it. You think, you know, you've honed your skills for a good long while, and you think you're finally like producing a product that's good enough to sell, and you'd like to start making money off of it. Nothing is cooler than, you know, making creative works and having someone want it or value your art enough to be like, hey, I'm willing to pay money for it. Especially if people are willing to pay what it's worth, which is a whole issue in and of itself, is properly pricing your artwork. And how can you properly price, you know, your skill, how much time it took for you to learn that skill and like get good at it, you know, and then like the time and materials and to make it itself. But it's just like that labor, right? Not just you know, not just paying off the time and the skill, or I mean the time and the cost of materials, but also like, you know, your skill, your talent, the years and years and years it took for you to get good at your craft, which I think people don't realize how much things are actually worth now, thanks to things like fast fashion and just like Temu and, you know, Amazon and all of these different places where that are using like exploitative practices to really underpay people or exploiting people to sell things for dirt cheap, right? And people are getting really used to like this really poor quality stuff, like art, clothes, whatever. So they've gotten used to that very poor quality and for very cheap, you know, like people don't know how much stuff is worth anymore. Well, I guess it's not even just like for cheap stuff either. It's just even the expensive stuff is kind of like shitty quality, which is really too bad. But why it's so important now to have like artisans and to appreciate the craft and pay people what they're worth, right, for their crafts and their skills and all of that. But yeah, you're getting to do what you love and you're making money off of it. You're getting paid what you're worth, and like, yeah. Then there's also the idea, when you love what you do, you never have to work a day in your life. The whole, you're loving what you're doing, you're passionate about it, you love art, you love working on your craft, and you're getting to do it and you're getting paid for it. That's awesome. Again, it could be like a side hustle or your main source of income, whatever. I did kind of talk about the artisan skilled people should be paid for their craft and talent. I think that's always a good thing. I'll never go against that statement. I think we need more artists in the world. We need more. I do believe that art is so important, just as, science and math and STEM is important, and just as important as the humanities are for different reasons. I think art is so important as a thing that other people do, and as a thing that I personally do. I think stories should be told and art should be made. Nothing is better than creating. I have this constant desire to just create things, and if I don't, I start to go stir crazy. And I think another good thing about kind of monetizing your hobbies, and again, I'm not even just talking about like the art sphere, also like writing, which I guess is still an art, but like computer science too, even coding. If you're coding like a video game, I'm talking about that as well. It's great to make money off of that. And when you're making money off of things, it kind of forces you to be more accountable. I don't know about anyone else, but I definitely really struggle with actually finishing a lot of my work. I have a tendency to leave a lot of projects half finished, or they'll just sit for months and months on end, or just stay unfinished. Like right now, I think in my closet I have about like 15 half done crochet projects. I don't know if I'll ever finish them. And so, when you're doing it for money, it kind of gives you a deadline or incentive to stick through it and finish things, whether that's like via commission, you've been commissioned to create something, then you have like an enforced deadline, right? Because you have to finish it sorry, I'm losing track. Okay. I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to do color work when talking about this, because color work is definitely very easy to make mistakes with, but gotta do what you gotta do. And let's see, especially because I'm using like this really tiny paper for this. But yeah, forces you to be accountable, gives you a deadline in a sense, or at least like tangible goals, which you can have too, without having it be monetized or without having like a monetary incentive, but it certainly helps a lot, especially if there's other people involved, right? Because you're like, again, you're forced to do something, and I don't know if that's just me who struggles with that, but helps. It could definitely be motivating too, and it can help you, again, yeah, it's very motivating. Make money, right? When is money not motivating? And it can help you build community, right? You're reaching a wider audience because you're, I don't know, putting yourself out there and trying to market yourself, or it kind of will put you in touch with either like clients or, I don't know, different people when you're creating this community, and you're like meeting a lot of either like-minded people or people who genuinely appreciate your craft because, yeah, they're paying you for it, right? They're paying you, they like your work enough that they're paying for it. Like, that's an amazing feeling, right? That's incredible. Maybe not easy to do, but pretty cool if you ask me. Okay, those are the positives. I'm sure there's more, but I think that's kind of like the broad good. Next, we're gonna get into the bad. Your hobby is now a job. Becomes a job or even a chore, right? what was once done purely for just your own amusement or out of passion or love for creating things, it can become just like a chore. Not always, obviously. It doesn't have to be like that, but I feel like it just kind of, it can become like that very easily, where you know, now that there's the obligation that you have to do it, you know, it becomes kind of a drag because you can't do it on your own time frame. It's now, again, an obligation. You could lose what made it fun in the first place. Like what was once full of passion and an outlet maybe for your frustrations, it can now be something that you're forcing yourself to do and you have to do whether you feel like it or not, versus there's a sense of freedom when you're not doing it for money, where it's just like, you know, you can make whatever you want whenever you want if you feel like it, or if you don't feel like it. There's a lot more freedom to it. And you know, it's also very easy to start boxing yourself in, or to become like less creative. It's harder to be creative and make new fun choices, or to do something new, right? Like, for example, you made one thing, either it went viral or it's selling very well, and you're, you know, it's like a bowl or something. Again, back to like the ceramics example. And you're selling this bowl, and then you're making more, and they're selling well, and you're like, okay, I'm tired of making bowls, and you try and make something a little more fun and creative, and it doesn't sell as well. It's like, okay, well, I need to make money. Like, I'm trying to, you know, make money off of this hobby. I'm gonna just make bowls because that's what sells, right? Or you kind of start thinking less about what you want to make and more about, okay, what do people want to buy? Or like, what would my audience want? Or what do I like, yeah, how do I reach a certain audience and group, rather than making things just for the sake of making them for yourself, you know? And again, there's a balance. You could do both, right? Nothing's stopping you from also making your own things on the side, but when you're so bogged down with these other projects that you're obligated to do, all of a sudden, it's like you're tired of it, you want to break from it, you need a break from what was once your break, right? Because now it's become a job, and you just like, you don't want to do it, you're tired of it. Yeah. And it could also kind of become monotonous, again, like the making a bazillion bowls or whatever, what sells well. It's just like, and it's also can become very stressful at that point. For example, if you're like a content creator and you've decided you're just going to make money off of making content about a certain thing, it's so easy to try and become obsessed with how can you reach the most people, like, will people like this? You become very like self-conscious of it and very single-minded to the point where it becomes stressful, and again, like a chore obligation. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, etc., etc. And again, like I said, it doesn't have to be like that. Like, you could still do it and find success and avoid those pitfalls, but I think it's really easy to fall into that trap. I find myself falling into it when I'm not even making money off of it, right? When I'm even like thinking about, like, I have an Instagram where I post all my fiber works and all my crochet and weaving stuff, and that's under the same moniker of beanmakesthings. And my motivation peters up and down, where I'll be so obsessed with trying to make it something that will do well, like receive lots of attention, and then like that'll just become so stressful to me, like making those reels or whatever, that I just kind of like lose motivation, and then will stop for a couple months before, like, the less I care, the easier it is for me to post, and I just feel better about it, instead of like constantly obsessively checking to see how well a post or a reel is doing, which just feels terrible, right? Because it's just like, I can't do anything else. My life has become consumed by this thing. Yeah, that's the bad. I'm sure, again, there's many more pitfalls. And now we're getting into the ugly side of it. Kind of more of like a broad scale view of it. The other day I saw this post on Reddit that was hobbies are a waste of time unless you can monetize them or get really good at them. Crazy take. That is a crazy take. I'll read some of it to you now. I've been playing chess recently, desperately trying to get good, and I'm terrible. Today I feel like I know I'm never going to be a master at it, so I think it's incredibly pointless to try and continue playing until I reach various rating milestones. I'm never going to be good enough to a level I'm satisfied with, where I can either monetize it or achieve some title that makes my soul feel better. So I don't get why I should keep trying when reasonably I'm never going to be happy with the result. This is a hobby in a long line of hobbies I've tried in life. I just abandoned them because of how useless they seem. I used to love making music, but whenever I would share it and try to promote it, it would get no traction. This is the case with 99% of songs floating around online. So I don't get why I would put my time and energy into making something for others when no one will ever hear it. And then it kind of goes on with the same thing, where they said they feel like unless you can, again, quote, find a way to make money or get to a point where prestige and recognition come naturally, most hobbies are kind of hopeless endeavors into the void. And isn't that a sad way to look at it? Like, I feel the point of hobbies are to find enjoyment, and you do them because you like them, not because you're expecting some gain from them. So in that sense, monetizing it, I feel like, could take away from the purpose of it, of being something that you enjoy into something that gets you recognition and money, right? And let's be honest, you need money, right? Money is important to happiness, not like you will only be happy if you have a lot of money, but let's be real. You need money to live, you need money to eat, you need money to, have freedom to do extra things, right? Like, to do all that. So, yeah, of course, people want it, right? Want money, and people want recognition too. I think there's nothing wrong with wanting your art to be seen or heard or like read, etc., etc. But it's also okay if it's not. It's okay to have your art just be for you to see, for you to do. But it's also okay for you to share it, and it should be shared if you want it to be shared. And like, there's nothing wrong with wanting other people to see it, to experience it, to interact with it, and do all that. That's why I'm posting. That's why I've always wanted to make a YouTube channel, because I've always wanted to share stuff. But again, I fall into the pitfalls of turning it into like more like daydreaming about everything that it could be, rather than just doing it for pure reasons, right? Like daydreaming about like becoming a famous YouTuber, or famous on whatever, and making money off of it. It's like that, where it's like, okay, whoa, calm down. Let's be real here for a moment. Like, get out of Delulu land, right? Not that it's not something that could happen, but it shouldn't be the reason why you're doing something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like people could see through that pretty quickly. And 5. Yeah. But again, nothing wrong with wanting it to be seen. Again, I'm trying for this to make it something casual. The less I care, still putting more care and energy into the art rather than the result of the art, right? Like, I'm trying not to care so much about having like what people see, who's seeing it, etc. And I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna make what I want to make, and then I'll share it, and then it'll either find the right audience or not. But I'm still happy because I made the thing that I wanted to make, and I put it out there for someone to see. And that's why, like, my New Year's resolution was to try and do like one post a month. I try to make it very like achievable, otherwise I would never do it. But I also need like that goal to like ever get anything out there, because otherwise it would just like never happen. And it's something that I've wanted to do for a long time. But yeah, okay, that post. I feel like there's also just like hustle culture in general. There's huge pressure from our society that everything needs to be productive. you need to get something out of everything or there's no point. Kind of like what that Reddit user was saying, was like, if I'm not making money out of it, if I'm not getting like some sort of recognition for it, what's the point? And this is like a pervasive thing in our society where it's like every moment you should be like passively making money or being productive, right? You're like waking up early, you have to go to the gym, and I enjoy going to the gym. I enjoy being productive, but I also enjoy taking it slow. And I feel like society kind of goes against that whole idea of taking it slow, and there's like an expectation that everything needs to be done quickly, and you need to make money out of it. And I think that kind of feeds into this people wanting to monetize their hobbies, which is stressful, not cool. And it's also kind of like, if you are not absolutely making the most of your time and talent and everything, you're not living up to your full potential, making the most out of everything, right? There's the idea that you're not actively bettering yourself, or it's like a waste of time, again, if you can't monetize it. And another thing is just like, people expect to be really, really good at something immediately. It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be good to even share it, if you're like just starting out and your art is like bad, that's great, like you made something, right? Like just the act of making something, I feel, is so healing. And I encourage everyone to do it. I think everyone can be creative. You just kind of need to train yourself to do it, and you're not going to be good immediately. Like I don't really believe in like talent necessarily. I think people could be naturally gifted in some things, but they still need to work hard at it. And people could be not naturally gifted at something, but they could still get better at it by like practicing. And again, it doesn't have to be great. Like I think it should more be for yourself. And I mean, at the same time, it doesn't have to be. You can, if you want to just do it for money, go ahead. Like, if there's no heart and soul in it, that's your prerogative. I don't know. I don't care. Do what you want. But for me personally, it just won't be fun anymore. And to me, that's like not worth it. I know there's this artist that my dad will sometimes paint with, or like go to classes with, and this guy is like a total businessman. Like, he's like the least, I mean, he's an incredible artist who makes the most incredible paintings, like straight, almost like out of a picture, like straight, so like such realism with watercolor. And I don't know, it's just like all business for him. Like, he's just there to make money. That's all he cares about. Which honestly, it's like, to me, I don't like the guy, but I could kind of respect that. This is kind of the opposite of all that I've been saying in my personal beliefs as to like, I would never do that. It would never just be about the money. Actually, that's not true. That's what I'm scared of, is becoming like that. I could so easily see it becoming for the money and then just getting burnt out and hating it, which is what I'm trying to avoid, and what I'm talking about here. Again, I feel like it kind of just sucks the soul out of it. Like, just the idea that hobbies are a waste of time unless you can monetize them or get really good at them. It's just like, that's not what they're about. It's a hobby, for crying out loud, or a passion. It should be something you're passionate about. Otherwise, it's just kind of sad. Okay, I totally messed this up. It's just 3 instead of 4. But yeah, that's, I think, pretty much it for what I think personally about, making money off of your hobbies. I think you could still do it if you want to do it. Just what I'm going to try and exercise in my own life is just trying to stay true to myself, in the sense that I will want to continue making what I want to make, and I will not be swayed by making things for others. Like, I will have the audience find me, and if they don't like the stuff I'm making, then that's not the people I want to be making stuff for, and I'll just make what I need to make, and the rest will follow. And if it's not, I'm still enjoying it, and that's like the most important part of all. I'm still enjoying it, I'm doing it for myself, and I'm like happy and enjoying it. I feel like I've said enjoying it about like 15 times, but you get what I'm saying, right? But I'm curious to hear what other people have to say, what their personal experiences are, like turning their hobbies and passions into lucrative things, if they would agree with some of the things I've said, or if they've had like a different experience, I could totally see. Like, I'm not very well practiced in it. Like, the most I've done is just like small commissions for people. For me personally, I've definitely found that if it's like, if I'm making something someone else wants me to make, I could lose passion for it so quickly. Like, my friend commissioned a painting from me a couple years ago, and I made it for him, but it literally took me 6 months because I kept putting it off just because I was so uninspired by it. And then, like, a different example is I like to make things for my friends for their birthdays or for Christmas and stuff. I made my friend a painting, a different friend, and literally I finished it in 2 days just because I was so inspired. Because it was like what I was doing it based off of what I thought they would like, and I was just inspired, right? I get very inspired when I'm making things for people. But again, it was like not a commissioned thing. I'm sure if that first friend, if I was just making something for him without him asking, I could be very inspired and it'd be pretty easy to make. But again, it was just like, when it was commissioned, I was like, ooh, not that I wouldn't do commissions. Sometimes I think I do need like that deadline. Again, why I'm doing this this pattern test in the first place is because I like the project, I like learning the new skills, and I need the accountability to finish in time. But yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to finish this in time. I might have to ask for a extension, but it looks pretty good so far for like my first color work attempt. It's not like the best. I've seen some of the other stuff people were working on, it kind of looked better, so I might remake it after I'm done testing it. I just need to finish this one by the end of the week, though. And I bought another one of their patterns, the creator, and it's like a dragon. So cool. I definitely want to make that next and try more color work. But regardless, I'm very curious to hear what other people have to think about this. I will be posting similar content. Again, I'll try to do at least once a month. And if I'm inspired, do more. I'm mainly going to talk about literally whatever I want to talk about. So I could do another like video essay style video vlogs, or just talking about like books I've read or movies or shows. And I'll be doing a similar style where you could sit and like chit chat with me, or I'll be doing like nail videos. Like, this is I'm learning how to do gel nails right now because I work in a coffee shop and I have to wash my hands all the time, and my nails are like constantly breaking, and I was tired of that. So I was like, okay, and manicures cost too much money, so it's like I could learn how to do it. So I have been. I'll post some videos so you could like learn with me, I guess, or just see what I'm doing. I want to do some like Nezuko from Demon Slayer inspired nails next time, but I also really like this color. But thank you for watching, especially if you made it this far, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.